I think you're muted, Marcin.
Yeah, I just noticed it.
Cool.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly SIG meeting. Today we have two items on the agenda. The first one is from Suraj, who is here, luckily. I think that some parts of it were covered last week, but it's still in up next, so maybe there is still something there. Suraj, the floor is yours. Oh, actually, it's Sujay, not Suraj. Uh, we don't have Suraj today. Uh, and the next one is Maciek Petel, who also hasn't joined yet. Okay. So, in the meantime, do you have any other topics that are not on the agenda?
Did Maciek have a follow-up, or was that because that looks like we talked about that Maciek's topic last week? Did he have a follow-up on that one, or?
I'm not sure if there is something new on this topic or it just wasn't moved.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay. Anyway, any other topics not mentioned in the agenda? No. Oh, Jack.
Yeah, real quick, is it worth discussing whether or not we're planning to have a combined carpenter SIG Autoscaling meeting here, or do you think that we will keep the separate? I think that we can probably have carpenter meet on its own, but it would be a good opportunity to have lots of folks
It would
join.
be great to have them on this meeting, but I understand that it may be terribly early for them to join. Would be like 7 a.m. or something like
It's
that.
7 a.m. for me, so it's rather early.
Yeah, so I deeply appreciate your presence here. However, it's hard to request all other folks to join us on a weekly basis. I believe that we agreed that for a moment we will try to establish like the second timing so that is more convenient for them to join. But it hasn't been set up yet, I believe. Uh, all of these carpenter onboarding things are handled by guy who is unfortunately not here, so I'm not sure what's the current status. I guess if there is enough need to discuss carpenter stuff at this time, then hopefully they will show up, or we will batch the carpenter request for a month and have them joining only once in Europe friendly time zone. I'm not sure. Uh, I would defer it to a guy who has more context there.
That all makes sense. We can just play it by ear for now. I know we're getting into the holidays for a lot of folks, and so maybe for the next 6 weeks we can just see how it works. I'm probably going to be attending both because I have a reason to know what's going on in both, and so I'm happy to pass back and forth stuff. We can see
Okay.
how practical that is, or if it's better to just combine.
I deeply appreciate your early wake ups and sorry for that.
It's all fine. I'm most of the time I'm asking folks in Europe to, stay well after business hours. So this is me doing my part.
Maciek.
Sorry, I missed the start of this discussion. Are we discussing the working group meetings? I was quite interested in when they happen because it's not entirely predictable to me.
So when
I know which
happen,
hour they are. I just mean like if they are happening on a particular day or not.
That's Guy Fink, and he is not here. So I don't know when is the
Sorry.
next meeting, whether we have one today or not. I guess we could ask him on Slack. Just to be sure whether today there is a carpenter meeting or not. But Jack was asking about whether we should have carpenter topics on this meeting or not. And the summary of the answer is that it would be great to have carpenter topics here. However, it's hard to expect carpenter maintainers presence on this early hour of the morning, their time.
That's fair. Thank you.
Yeah, and about the working group meeting, we're pretty close to probably just canceling those because I think the scope was getting Carpenter into the SIG. So now that that's expired, we might not have those. But if we do have those, which you can just maybe at some folks on Slack, they would be about 2 hours from now, 1 hour and 50 minutes from now.
Mhm.
So at I think 1800 at UTC is now 1611 UTC, I think.
So I think broadly speaking, and I'm not advocating for any specific hour or format right now, but I think we should have a regular meeting that includes Carpenter, both in terms of delivering on some of the stuff we had in the design or like in the document around building shared documentation and so on, which gets postponed due to KubeCon and sort of everyone being quite busy with other stuff. But hopefully, as we get past all of this, we'll be able to work on that. And I don't know if we need such a big group for this discussion. I'd imagine it's going to end up being probably a smaller group that maybe just reports to some meeting very occasionally once there is progress. And separately, I think we are also discussing some ongoing communication regarding new features and sort of even discussing caps that show up in Kubernetes but are relevant for autoscaling. And I think it would be good to have a regular meeting. Again, not advocating for that slot or for people in the US to come to this meeting necessarily, but I think we should agree on a regular spot. Maybe bi-weekly would be good enough. But yeah, maybe more predictable than the working group, which is maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, and we should have like regular meeting for carpenter stuff. Anyway, I think that they used to have before joining, like a bi-weekly, Jack.
Yep, and that will still happen.
And
So that's
on
the
what
one
days
I'll be attending, and at some point it'll probably make sense to maybe reconfigure those meetings, but we don't have to rush that.
or include it if it's okay and it's well established time in their community. I don't want to force them to change it, but for example, we could have it mentioned on SIG Autoscaling page that this is happening, so that people are looking for some carpenter specific topics know where to find it if they go through Kubernetes community pages and so on. Plus, as Maciek mentioned, we need some regular, probably not every week meeting, so that everyone is there and we can talk about convergence and overlapping topics. Okay, anyway, I will talk with Guy. We'll try to figure out something, and hopefully by next week we will have something to propose.
And Maciek, I would just bug folks on Slack whenever you want to meet for a working group meeting. In the meantime,
Thank you. Are you going to do this just in SIG Autoscaling or some other place?
we were using this Zoom meeting, I think, for the previous working group meeting, so we would probably just continue to do that.
Okay. Sorry, but do you mean like longer term or do you mean today?
Oh, I just mean like today. If you want to get synchronized.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other topics? Maciek, there is one topic still on the agenda by you. Did you cover everything you wanted to say last week, or there is still something to be discussed?
On the backward compatibility, I think we discussed it last week, and it's just my mistake on not moving it to
Okay,
different
great.
section.
We
Sorry
moved.
about.
Okay, so in this case, I wanted to speak about some related topic, which is
Sure.
like we will, as Maciek mentioned before, I will be adding backup reasons for in the config map for autoscaler status, and also will convert it to YAML. And I have created GitHub issue, so I would like feedback about this before I make the changes. Let me share it in the chat. So basically, I described what is the format now, what the format will be, and also the added fields.
Thanks. I know there was some interest in like the description of the format in the last SIG meeting. So if anyone is interested, I think that would be a good place.
Okay. Any other topics for today? No more volunteers, so let me go through people who hasn't spoken yet, one by one. Luis,
Oh, nothing from me, thank you.
Charlie,
All good, thank you.
and Miko,
Nothing for me, thanks.
Chris.
Just kind of visiting. I work on Carpenter Docks. I just here to listen.
Okay. Sue, Jay,
Yep, nothing from me.
Jesse,
Nothing from me.
Michelle.
No, I was just wondering if there was a load simulation to simulate load. You know, the default way to do it with auto scaling with this project, but I guess I will take it outside. I will think about it more in depth. I'm not ready. I don't know if it's the right moment to discuss it now, or if there's something off on the top of your head, some tool that you have, because I was talking about it in another call. So
It's a great moment to discuss it. However, if you prefer and you need more time, then sure, we can put it on the next week agenda. Up to you.
yeah, I probably just need to make up, clear my head and formulate the question in a more precise way, because
Okay.
right now I'm not even ready to ask the question. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Thank
so
you.
Once you're ready, please put on the
Oh,
agenda.
yeah, sure.
We'll be happy to discuss it.
Oh, another thing. Sorry, all these other meetings we were talking about, are those going to be put in the document, in the agenda, the links and everything?
We can put them in the agenda as well. So the source of truth is Kubernetes /community page, which contains the pointers to
Okay.
meetings
Oh,
or
sorry, I missed that one.
But I believe we also have it mentioned in the document. Let me check.
I mean, this one we have, but I was thinking about the other meetings.
We can add it to the document as well, so that they are placed in every possible place people may look into.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, and the last person, Hadley.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Okay, so looks like we are done for today. Thank you all for joining, and see you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.